Welcome back everyone to today's video. On the previous videos we saw how to implement the Mapbox into our React Native project. We saw how to implement also the 3D maps or the 3D buildings, and how to play with the pitch attribute, how to create our own 3D maps using the Mapbox Studio, and we saw also how to make a customized pointer instead of the classic one that Mapbox provides. We used an icon from React Native vector icons, and when the user clicks on that icon, a model appears, model is triggered, and inside that model we displayed the reverse geocoding information, which contain the city, the country, and much more. So we saw a lot of stuff, especially on yesterday's video. So in today's video we'll be working on the directions API provided by Mapbox. So what's the usability of this API? So it allows you actually to trace the route into your map, and it really depends on the routing profiles. There are multiple routing profiles, for example driving traffic, driving, walking, cycling, and each one of it displays a certain route. For the moment we will be working just with the walking profile, and in the next video we will be making the user choose which one of these four profiles that he wants to use. For example, he wants to use the car, so he will be choosing driving, cycling, or he wants to walk. And yeah, but for the moment let us keep it simple, and by the time we will be updating and improving our app. So before we begin, I want you to start a new project, or you can just clone this project right here. So it really contains everything that we'll be needing. I didn't want to build and just code these because these are basic things, and also it is not the purpose of the video, because these tutorial series will be only focusing on Mapbox and React Native. Maybe in the future I'll be doing some front with React Native, but for the moment you can just clone the code, clone the project, and run it. And yeah, it's simple. It contains the data, list of stores. It's very simple actually, and two screens. One is home and one is store location. And I also installed some packages. You need to install the React Native community / geolocation, the React Navig this so this package will be needing it to get the current user geolocation coordinates or data or whatever you want to call it. And this one, the React navigation native, as you know, we needed to be able to manipulate our screens, to navigate into our screens. You need also to install all of these: the React navigation stack, the React native gesture handler, React native reanimated, etc. We already installed these yesterday, these two, the React Native vector icons and the React Native Mapbox / maps. So yeah, but as I said, if you want, you can simply clone the project and start working. So yeah, and in the app.tsx we just did these simple things. So this will allow us to literally manipulate our screens and be able to navigate from a screen to another. So the initial route name will be home, which is this component or this screen right here, and that's all. It's very simple and there is nothing special about it. So let's start. Let's say that we have a list of stores, like we have a store in Chemnitz, store in Heidelberg, store C, and store D. Okay, and each store contains some data, some simple data. I just chose an image URL from Google, the latitude and longitude, the coordinates, and a simple description. So what will we be needing is these two. These two are the most important things, because we need these two to trace our route into our map from the user's current location into these location. Okay, so let's start. So this is simple. We have a list, and whenever the user clicks on it, it's just a blank screen. We have nothing here. It's just a simple component that contains a text tag with hello world. So let's start. So the first thing we need to do is we need to do some stuff before we start dealing with the serious stuff. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is to determine the route directions. So for that, as I said, we need to declare our route directions here, and this will be useState. Let's okay, we'll put any, okay, let's say any or null here, and what else? Okay, and here it's null. Let's not forget to import our useState hook from React. Okay, perfect. The next thing is to determine the coords, because we will be getting these coords from the user's current geolocation information that we'll be getting from that package we installed. So for that, I want you to do useState here, useState snippet, and here you can just type coords. Okay, but here it needs to be good. So for the useState, we will choose right here. Okay, let's clean this. I will do a number, because we will be having an array of numbers, so we need to declare it like this. Okay, and what else? We can just, let's say we put like some random, I will put my current latitude and longitude. You can put yours, it depends on you. Good, perfect, good. The next thing is the root variable, and we will be using this to get the informations from a screen to another. For example, if we have like, let me explain this. This screen contains some list, and each one of these 4 components contain, or it's tagged with some infos. So in order to get these infos, we need to get it using the root. Okay, and for that, before you do this, you need to do this step right here. So you will tell React Native, okay, I need to go to the store location, which is this component, but don't go alone. I need you to go with these infos right here, with this variable which contains our object, which contains all the infos that we pasted here. Okay, so it's really simple, and that is, as I said, I won't be focusing a lot in these things because this is not the purpose of this video. We'll be working on Mapbox, so yeah, maybe in the future I'll be doing like a React Native tutorial from scratch, which I will be like explaining the basic things and doing some front-end and styling and stuff. Okay, so good, and let's not forget to import our model right here. Good. So what's next? The next thing is we need to get these stores information. So here we have a variable which is called store, which contains the item, and the item which contains all the store data. Okay, so for that we need to type const store equals root dot params. Simple, easy. Okay, now we will start dealing with the serious stuff. So the first thing I need to do is to get the user's current geolocation. So how can we do it? It's simple, just follow me. We'll be defining an async function, and we will name it get permission location. Good, and let's not forget the try and catch here. Perfect. There's nothing special about it. So we need to define the geo variable, which will get all the geolocation, and let's not forget to import this package right here. Do not forget it, or you'll be getting a lot of problems, a lot of errors. And we have a lot of options, so what will be, it's obvious we need this option right here, get current position, to get the user's current location. And before I continue, you can actually set the location here. So if you had like some errors or some issues with the location, you need to actually set the location manually. Okay, so you just determine here the coordinates, or you can select a point from here and then you click set location right here. That's all. It's very simple. And this is in case you encountered some issues with the emulator, because it happened to me sometimes. Okay, so let's back. Get current position, location, and then set chords. Here location dot chords dot longitude, because inside the location variable will tag the chords, and inside the chords we will be having like longitude, latitude, and other infos. So since we need the longitude and latitude, and in order to access it we need to pass from the chords, so we will be having here location dot chords dot longitude and location dot chords dot latitude. Good. What else do we need? In case of error, in case we had an error, we can define the error here, console.log, or you can do an alert. It depends on you. I don't want to display an alert here in my app, and enable high accuracy. So this variable, this option right here, allows you to get it allows you to manipulate the accuracy of the geolocation data. If you activate this option right here, it will get it multiple times, and sometimes you need to do it to, let's say, avoid some issues. Sometimes your device or your emulator doesn't get the geolocation infos instantly. So if you enable this option right here, it will be like, as mentioned in its name, it's high accuracy. It will be high accuracy. You can get a lot of infos if you check the official docs from the React Native, from this library. And what else? So yeah, and let's not forget the catch. Console.error, let's say error getting location. This is in case we had an error, and let's not forget the error variable. Okay, so what else? The next step we need to do is the use effect. The use effect hook. Whenever the user pops on the screen or opens the screen, the use effect will be triggered, and then we'll be calling this get permission location inside the use effect. So whenever the user gets inside this component, it will get automatically the user's location. And yeah, so let's type here, and let's not forget to import the use effect hook. We don't need this, and we just need actually to call the get permission location function, and that's all. Okay, let's do some testing. If I click here, okay, let's say I want to get console.log here, and I want to get the store, not the store actually, the chords, okay. and the chord is this variable right here, and set chord is here. So normally it will display out the geolocation infos. Good, here it is. Okay, let me check another time. I will just write a small message right here. Users location. Perfect. Good. Good. So we now have the user's location. So we already dealt with this problem right now. So the next step is to, now we'll be writing the real the real deal, because the next step we'll be defining the route feature and we will be tracing the route. So you need to type it correctly to avoid any problems or something. Okay, so let's start. So after our use effect hook, let's define a function and let's call it function make router feature, and we will pass coordinates, which will be an array of number and number here. Perfect. And here it's any. Good. Perfect. So let's define a variable and let's type let router feature type feature collection. So you can find some infos about these things on the official docs. So it's not magic. Features, we have an array. Good. So we will type here type feature properties. Okay, let's, okay, for the moment, and geometry, which will contain type line string, and there are a lot of options, other options. So as I said, you can check the official docs of Mapbox directions API, and coordinates, which will be coordinates. Good. What else? And yeah, let's not forget our return router feature. Good. The next function will create our router line. It's the function where it will be displaying the line in the map. So yeah, let's do a sync function, and let's call it create router line. We will be passing the chords, which is number, an array of number, and let's type here promise void. Good. So let's do it step by step. So what we will be needing, we need the start coordinates. It's the coordinates that let's say it's the point of start, or I don't know how you call it, and the end chords, the ending point, because we need four variables. We need the latitude and longitude of the current user, okay, and we need the location or the coordinates of the point, which is our store. Okay, so let's start. The first thing we'll be defining the start chords right here. Okay, this is okay, let's type here chords of 0, which will be latitude, longitude, yep, and what else, and we need chords. Wow, good. This is template string, do not forget it. Okay, and now we need the end coords, which is our final point, or the point where the user will be reaching, which is our store geolocation, or let's say coordinates. We need to define the variable end coords again here, and here we need the data from the store, because the store will give us these data right here. He will give us name, image URL, latitude, longitude, and the description. We need these two. Okay, so in order to access it, if you console log here, for example, if you console log in the use effect and you type store, which is this object that we got from our home screen, you'll be getting these infos right here. Okay, so automatically you will put, like here for example, we will be typing store dot longitude, because we will be needing the longitude. Okay, and yeah, do not forget that this needs to be an array. Okay, if you remove the array, you will face some issues when when you want to trace the route. Okay, because this needs to be an array. Or you can define, or you can change this structure and you can put these two inside an array, and yeah, you won't be needing to define the array here. It's easy. It really depends on you. You can do whatever you want. And also we need the store dot latitude. Perfect. So what else? Now we need to define the geometries, because we will be needing this variable inside the API URL. Okay, and you will see this later. We will choose here GeoJSON. Again, this is in the official docs, so you can access it. And then this is the most important part. Okay, so you can just copy this, and I will explain it in a second. Okay, so here we have an API. It's right here. As I said, it's everything is inside the official docs right here. So the first thing we need to do is to call this part right here, and then we choose our profile. Okay, we have 4 profiles here. We have the driving traffic, the driving, the walking, and the cycling. On the next video, we will be making this dynamic, so when the user clicks on the store, a model or a window will appear, and the app will ask the user which profile you want to use. You want to use the driving, or you want to walk, or you want to cycle, the cycling. So yeah, but for now we'll be choosing the walking. And as I mentioned in the beginning earlier, that the route will change whenever we change the profile, because if you choose walking, you have a certain route. If you choose cycling, you have another route. You can, when we finish, you can just test this by yourself. Okay, but for now we'll be just doing this for the moment. So we need the start coords, of course, the starting point and the ending point. Okay, these options we'll be needing in the future. Okay, the alternatives is true in case there is an issue in this route. So since Mapbox contains a lot of features, so if you activate this feature right here, okay, in case there is a problem or it didn't detect this route, he can automatically track or display another route. Okay, so geometry it's very important, so you need to define it here. It is also, I guess, mentioned in the docs here. Okay, here it is, alternatives. Okay, and what else? There are a lot of options actually. You can just play with these, but we'll be using these. Here it is. Here is geometries. Okay, we'll be using these in the future maybe. So step equals true, banner, all of these are optional, and do not forget the API key. Okay, your API key, I showed you how to get the API key. You just need to register, and then you you will be having the public token, copy it, put it in a variable, and then call it here. It's easy, simple as that. So what's next? We need actually a try and catch statement. So for that we need a response. So let's define our response here. Sorry. Wait, let's use fetch. You can use Axios, you can use whatever you want, but for the moment I will be just using fetch, and let JSON await response dot JSON. Good. What else? Now we need our data. So our data will be json.roots.map. Data will be defined as any, and then okay, let's console.log these data. Okay, we will see what's inside these this data, because we will be needing these data in the future. They are very important. Let coordinates equals JSON. Let's put here routes of, let's say 0 geometry, and also coordinates. Good. Now we need an if statement. If we have our coordinates, so to check whether we have the coordinates, if coordinates.length, if you leave it like this, means it's equal true, or okay, const router feature equals make router feature, typo here, and then let's call the coordinates. Good. And we need to set our route directions in order to get the here it is, set route directions router, and we'll pass the router feature. And for the catch, we can simply, I don't know, can just console log error here. Good. So now we finished with these functions, but how can we use it? How can we use this one? Because this one is very important. Because the make router feature, we already use it here, okay? But how can we use this to create our route and to trace the route inside the map? So now we will be dealing with our view. Okay, let's delete this text tag, and let's redefine again our Mapbox.map view right here. And it's not a self-closing tag, so pay attention. So we will define the style. Let's say styles.map. Okay. And what else? Zoom enabled. Yeah. To be able to zoom. The style URL, and we already talked about this a lot. You can define your style, whether with the ordinary styles that Mapbox provides, or with the one that you created with the Mapbox Studio. So I'll be typing here Mapbox styles. Let's say Mapbox. There are a lot of options. There are satellite, but I'll be using the navigation night here, V1. You can use satellite, for example, or other options. And what else do we need? We have the rotate enabled to be able to rotate the map. We'll pass true, and here comes the real deal. So there is an attribute here called onDid finish loading map, and this means when the map finishes loading and all the map components were loaded, here we will be calling our create router line, this function right here, okay? And we will pass the coords, as simple as that. So for that, we'll be typing on did finish loading map, it will be async, okay, and we wait create a router line, and we will pass our coords. Good. Let's type here, and let's not forget what API, our camera, which is a very important here, camera, and it is a self-closing tag here. Okay, so we have the option, I guess, as I remember, we have zoom level. Yeah, we'll choose 7. The last time I guess it was 15, but yeah, it's a lot. Let's put 7 for the moment, and after that we will see. Center coordinate. Here we need the center coordinate to focus on the location where you want to tag or something. So I will be putting my own location. You can put yours or you can use mine. 15.72724. Perfect. And the famous pitch, which I talked a lot about, we'll put 60 here. You can put it, you can avoid it, it really depends on you, but as I said, maybe it won't be very fancy or glamorous in this type of map, because it's not a 3D map, because the 3D map is the one that we made with the studio, the Mapbox studio. But if you use the 3D map with the pitch and with the route tracing that we'll be making, it will be a very, very beautiful map, because you'll be having like 3D buildings with the route. It will be with the navigation, the directions, it will be very beautiful. But for now, yeah, you can leave it, we'll see. Output pitch 60, animation mode. And I also talked about this option right here, animation mode, and this needs to be, okay, let's put here fly 2. Good. What else? And animation duration, I always put 6,000, but yeah, I feel it's too much, but I just like it. You can just put less or more, it really depends on you. So we finished with the with this part of the Mapbox camera. Now we will be dealing with the route directions. Okay, so let's say here, in case we have route directions, what we need to do, okay, so we need to define our Mapbox GL, and there is something called shape source. Okay, and this is not a self-closing tag, so we'll be doing like this, and we will define our options right here. So what we need the ID, of course. If you ignore the ID, you will be facing some issues. Sorry, it's okay. And we need the shape, which will be our route directions. Good. And inside this Mapbox GL shape source, we need to define our Mapbox GL, not shape, but line layer. My VS Code is lagging again, and this will be a self-closing tag. Okay, so what we need here, we need also the ID, and for that we'll just type here router line. Okay, let's say 01. We'll define the style. You can define your own style, you can put whenever you want. Line color will be this color for the moment, and you need to choose the right color to have a good display. If for example your map is white, you chose the light mode and you choose here, or you put here the white color, you can face some issues seeing your the directions. So for that, if for example you have a dark or a light map, I suggest that you put the orange color, which is the color we will be using right now. Okay, 4. And what else? We need the line width. You can put less or more, it really depends on your map. Okay, let's say, let's put like this here. We do have an error here. Oh, it's not. Okay, how this happened? Okay, I guess this needs to be inside like this. Line color. Okay. Oh god, I lost my concentration a bit. So normally the error should disappear. Okay, my VS Code is lagging, so that's why I'm doing these kind of mistakes, and that's a really huge problem. Okay, what else? So the final thing we need right now, the final thing finally, is our user location. Okay, so it's the point where it's the start point. Okay, so after the shape source, after here, okay, our condition, we'll be calling the Mapbox GL, not shape source, but it will be user location. There is an option called user location, and it's a self-closing tag. Okay, so we need animated. We'll put here true. Android render mode, we will choose GPS, and show user heading indicator will be true. And this is everything. Okay, so now we need to just define our map style. Okay, because here it's given us an error. Okay, so we will just put flex 1, and that's all. It's lagging again. Okay, it disappeared. So let's go back, and I do prefer that we refresh our project. Okay, let's wait a bit. Good. Maybe this code seems a bit complicated, but it's not actually. If you focus on each line, it will be very logic. Okay, there's nothing special about it. And also you can find all these infos right here in the official docs of Mapbox. So I used nothing special or magical. It's just from the official sources, and we get rid of this warning, and let's choose store in chemnitz, and let's see what we'll be having. Okay, here we're having an issue, and it's okay. So this is a styles problem. Mapbox /style/mapbox/navigation night v1. So here we're having some issues. So we just have the user location, but we are not getting our okay. Let's see what's wrong with. I refreshed the app and everything worked. So we went back. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so this is our home screen. We will choose, for example, store income nets. Once we choose this store right here, it will do this some sort of fly to animation, and it will take 6 seconds. And when the map finishes loading, which is this option right here, okay, it will define our route. Okay, for the moment it's just like displaying this route right here, but in the next video we will, in the ending point, we will be defining an icon, the store icon. Okay, okay, let's choose another store, maybe store in Heidelberg, for example. Okay, let's see. Once it finishes loading, okay, perfect. So all of these infos right here, this is what we're getting from this part, the data. Okay, so we are getting all the directions info, and we can use this to create some sort of, it's like we can use these like the Google Maps functionality, like how can we name it, because each array here contains all the infos of each route. It's huge, but if you know how to manipulate these objects right here, you can literally create a Google Maps clone. Okay, so here what we can actually, in the next video, we'll be using the distance. We'll be displaying it in a very beautiful card. Okay, inside the map it will pop up once the route is defined. So here we have the distance. Okay, we have the duration, and the geometry is are the coordinates of all the route here. That's why it's huge, because yeah. Okay, let me for a second, let's just move this pitch thing and let's try how it looks from. Okay, I will go back for a second. I'll choose Chemnitz again. Okay, this error happens sometimes. Okay, good. Now it will be much better, much clearer. Good, perfect. But in case you use, I will repeat it, in case you use the 3D maps, the one that we did in the first video, you literally have to call the pitch attribute to, yeah, to define the pitch attribute to make it much more beautiful, and then with these buildings you can like define the route. Good. So yeah, this is all for today's video. I hope you learned something new. Okay, so in the next video we'll be defining a lot of things. Actually, we'll be defining an icon for the ending point, which will be the store. We'll be defining a card here which will display the distance, the duration, and some other, and the name of, for example, of the store. What else we can do? Yeah, maybe we will also be doing a live tracking navigation. Okay, and I will be demonstrating it live, so I will just build this in my phone and on a real device and go out and see what will happen. Okay, and yeah, that's all for today's video. I hope you learned something, and see you on the next video. Bye.